Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be the week 5 for Big Brother's live eviction show results, whatever you want to call this. I had filmed it, I thought it was uploaded, I looked, it wasn't, and the footage is gone. So we are now filming this. It is Wednesday, and all this took place Sunday, but we're going to go over it. Excuse the look, I'm getting ready to go running, and I'm in my son's room because it's the, what is this here? Okay, it's the best light in here right now for this time of day. So, got my little cheat sheet. Let's talk about week 5 Big Brother. So, they played for HOH, and it was just a simple, they'd play a song, and you would compete against one other person, and you'd have to choose between Battle of the Block, Power Veto, or HOH, whatever thing that song pertained to. So, the winners of that were Vanessa, who actually would say won it. She was actually thinking of doing it. And then Jackie, who won by default because when it came down to just her and James backed off, wouldn't even play, and so she got to choose it and she got it right. So, those were the 2 HOHs for the week. They decide to work together, and their plan is going to be to backdoor Austin. And that's kind of the plan of the house as well. So, Vanessa puts up Becky and Clay, and Jackie puts up Liz and James. And the hopes is that Liz and James lose the Battle of the Block, and so then Becky and Clay will be taken off the block, and then worst case scenario is Liz would go home, and best case scenario is they'd take James off the block and they would put Austin up, and then one of them two are going to go home because they decided that's who needs to be separated. Well, they have the Battle of the Block, which is a very simple, there's 2 kind of offices, I guess, set up, and they have paint, they have to throw it onto the wall, and where the paint doesn't stick, there will be a letter, and they have to figure out these words, and it's an answer to the question, 3 people from last season were out to dinner, like at Outback Steakhouse or something. Who were they? And so you've got to figure out the 3 names. Well, it was obvious that James was just kind of like, and he was trying to throw it, because that was the plan. He was to throw it, so they lost. Liz, ironically, was flying back and forth and figuring it out and doing her best. Becky and Clay couldn't get their act together. They were smearing paint everywhere, couldn't figure out the letters, and in the end, Liz basically won it by herself. She was able to pull her and James off. So that left everybody in an uncomfortable situation. Vanessa did not want to continue to be HOH because she didn't want to get the blood on her hands for either sending Liz or Austin home. So now she doesn't have a choice. She's still on the block. Or she's still HOH. So the plan still is to throw Austin up. Well, they get around to doing the power veto, and for whatever reason, Austin catches wind that the plan is now to send him home. So he starts working his little talking thing and gets the house convinced that they really need to get rid of Jason, because Jason is kind of the head of the other side of the house. And if they get rid of him, then that whole alliance over there will fall apart. So Vanessa decides, okay, that's a great idea. Clay ends up winning the power of veto. That was a little competition. They were dressed up as squirrels, and they had to roll this ball back and forth 150 times and whatever. So he won. So Clay pulls himself off. The house is, most of the house is absolutely shocked when Vanessa gets up and says, Jason, have a seat, you're now up. Because everybody still at that point thought that, for the most part, thought that Austin was going up. He wasn't. So they're devastated. Felt absolutely horrible for Jason. In the end, Jason did end up going home. So at the end of the episode, you watch Julia, Liz's twin, gets to come in because now they've made it 5 weeks, so they're both in the house. And their HOH competition is they're standing on a little ledge up against a wall, and it'll lean forward and go back, and water's thrown at them, and birds dive at them, and things like that. And so the show ends with them doing that. So, again, I watch After Dark, so I already know now that it's Wednesday a lot of stuff that's gone down. So I'm not going to make my prediction as to who wins HOH or who was nominated or anything like that, because I already know all that. So any of you guys that are watching, if you don't watch the feeds or if you don't watch After Dark, what are your predictions? I will still give my prediction on who I think will win the entire thing. I think it is going to be Vanessa. It's either going to be Vanessa. Oh, there was that wonky hair again. It's either going to be Vanessa or maybe by some luck Becky might sneak her way in through there. Becky really, I feel like she's still playing both sides, but she's playing it very well where they both think she's faithful to them, and she's in the middle. I wouldn't really call her a floater because she's not like kind of going here with it when it's good or here when it's good. She's kind of going over here, getting information, using it, going over here, giving the information that needs to be given, but taking some more information here. And so she's kind of really making it so she's important to both sides to keep. So I think she's doing it. Vanessa, I think she's I think she could win it, but I think she's also, she's kind of wishy-washy. Like, I think the minute that she thinks something's going south, she's going to run and she's going to go join a different alliance and try and make that be the best alliance that it can be, even though that I don't really think so much she's a leader. I think she actually might be very easily, I don't know, easily influenced, but she's very easy to suggest and influence Jackie. So I think depending on the circumstances, Vanessa can be a leader, or she can kind of be a follower that looks like she might be a leader. But those are my two, Vanessa and probably Becky. One of those two I think is going to win. I think the boys are going to start being picked off, and it's really going to come down to girls this year. So let me know you guys' thoughts, and hopefully this video uploads, and I will see you guys in my next video. I'm off to run. I have a 5K this weekend. Wish me luck.